Now, accident statistics for the first half of 2021 show an alarming number of people are losing their lives in accidents involving motorbikes. Of the 1,450 fatalities between January and June this year, 622 died in motorbike accidents, with motorbikes accounting for 2,500 of the over 8,000 people injured. Interestingly, though, the northern region, where motorbikes happen to be the main mode of transport, doesn't appear to have as many deaths from motorbike accidents. What could the riders there be doing differently? Seth Kwame reports a relatively low number of fatalities has to do largely with discipline.
First-time visitors to the northern region, especially from Accra, will be struck by the number of motorbikes on the streets here. Here, men, women, and even children ride to and fro in admirable fashion. Indeed, motorbikes far outnumber cars.
Every household, there is a motorcycle. Every household, you see a motorcycle. So that the motorcycle has become the simplest medium of transportation for everybody.
In 2020, for example, while the Driver Vehicle and Licensing Authority registered 7,500 motorbikes, only 829 vehicles were registered in the entire year. The trend appears to be no different this year.
Early May, but we have registered 3,172 motorbikes so far against 593 cars.
Ironically, statistics from the police MTTD suggest only 20 lives have been lost through motorcycle-related accidents in the region from January to June this year. In the Greater Accra region, however, 102 motorbikers have died in just 6 months, with 105 dying in the Eastern region and 86 in the Ashanti region. The National Road Safety Authority boss here, Alexander Ayata, explains why the fatalities are that low.
In the southern part, I think they basically concentrate on passenger. But here, we concentrate much on the usage of the motor. And again, I will add this. When you get to traffic lights, it will surprise you. I've been to Accra, people don't, when it is red, they're riding. But here, they will stop. Just a few, one or two will make a move. But the fact that we are able to speak to them and we give them, at times, for some time back, we need to show them films, how people dropped from their motors and broke their heads.
It is very true, especially in Accra, where they ignore the traffic light and so get crushed, fall off their motorbikes and die on the spot. And for those who die, most of them wear no helmet. But in Tamale, some places are designated no-go zones without helmets, and Mr. Ayata reviews.
Catholic Church, no helmet, no entry. You were there, you saw it. Not only the church, but any institution belonging to the church. We want to even extend it to other areas.
So how seriously riders pay attention to their safety shows in how few of them are getting injured when they are crushed compared with riders in Accra, Eastern and Ashanti. In just 6 months, while 47 motorcycle injuries have been recorded in the northern region, in the Greater Accra and Eastern regions, 600 and 285 people have been injured respectively. In the Ashanti region, 86 injuries so far. At the Tamale Teaching Hospital, there are patients who testify, but for their helmet, they would have been dead long ago.
A child was about to cross the road. I just saw the child like in a meter, a distance of a meter. So in trying to save the child, I swerved and I went off. I felt with my forehead, but then because of the helmet, my teeth hit the ground. So my teeth is actually also affected. But because of the helmet, I was able to save my head.
At various intersections here in Tamale, it is amazing how almost all riders, with the exception of a few, respect the traffic light. For them, red really means stop.
Because of the education that the MTTU and the National Road Safety Commission are giving to the citizens or the people of Tamale, they go to realize the danger in certain, like when a traffic light show red and you pass, the danger in it. It's better you hold on. When it show green, yellow, you get ready. When it's so green, you start moving.
I think this is one of the ways we can do that, by obeying the traffic rules. So I think that's the rationale behind that. Okay. We are putting our own conscious effort in order to make sure that the risk of traffic accidents reduce on our part. The government has their part, and we the citizens also have their part. So we need to all come together and then make sure that we fight against this canker in our nation.
Well, if you don't stop, there is other traffic light that shows green. So definitely, if you don't stop and that one is green, people are moving. So once you move, you collide with the others.
So if you are a rider listening or watching, just remember, respecting the red light means you cherish your life. My name is Seth Kwame Boatin.
So how can the motorbike riders in Accra be made to conform as their counterparts in the northern region? And also joining us now is road safety consultant Tito Gabra of Top Tech Consult. Thank you very much, Mr. Gabra. I first want to understand why riders in the northern region are so compliant. Is it just the fact that they are more disciplined?
Well, I think they are very disciplined. I am not discriminating, but I love people from the northern part of Ghana in terms of respect, right? And then you come to the southern part of Ghana in Accra, and it's rather the opposite. Well, it's all because of two other reasons. One, we all know there's no jobs. Okay, so the Accra boys have taken this advantage to say, come on, let me have a motorbike and I'll make business for you. Many young people are operating motorbikes as commercial transport, which we call Okada. By our legislative instrument, 2180 of the Road Traffic Regulation 2012, to be specific, Regulation 128, states so clearly that you cannot, the licensing authority shall not even register your vehicle, your motorbike, for you to use it as Okada. When I say Okada, I think everybody understands it, which means that you cannot carry any passenger as a pillion rider, okay, and charge that person. Israel, if those bikers will pick their family members, honestly speaking, they will respect the regulations. They will stop at red lights in Accra.
You think so?
And then, yes, I think so. Because, you cannot, if you and I are riding a motorbike and then our son or our wife are sitting behind, we'll be very careful because nobody wants to lose any of them. But yeah, it's the case where, there's this common language in which means that, look, let's hurry up and then send them to their destination and come for another set so that we can make money. They need to pay for their bike. The motorbike is about 3,000 cedis, and you will not believe it, that many people are rather making business out of it, buying the motorcycles, giving it out to people, young people, for them to make money. And then you make twice as a motorbike within a period of one year. So what happens? They ride recklessly, ignore all the regulations. Today, any young person who wants to make his daily bread will jump on Okada. Let's go out and talk to them. It is all because the BRT system has failed. The bus rapid transit system, it's really failed, and therefore everybody is rather thinking of the fast and easier way to get to the destination, which means that, come on, sit on the bike, and then you will arrive safely. But it is not safely because many people have not been trained. That is it. Many people have not been trained.
Right.
It is really bad.
We'll come to the training in a bit, but you say that most of the people in Accra are doing it because they want jobs. But the lack of jobs is not restricted to just Accra. In the northern region or in Tamale too, I'm sure they would have that challenge as well, but they're more disciplined.
Yes, I spoke about it, that they are much more disciplined. And then remember also that up the north, we don't have many vehicles, so it's easier to ride. But then up, down the south, we have vehicle population of about 50 to 60% of the country in Accra. So riding becomes a big challenge where you need to ignore some of the laws, like riding in the middle of the road. You know, that is it. You don't even have to ride in the middle of the road. You have to ride in a lane. You have to be lane disciplined. And then in the case of the red light, we have seen it, and it's all over in Accra that no rider. If you see about 10 riders, the only person that will stop is either a rider working for a company or some of the courier companies that are doing delivery. But those Okada where you have the pillion rider behind, you don't really care about anything. And then look at the statistics; they are really dying.
Yeah.
If you look at the statistics now, I mean, you realize that if you take off the riders from the normal statistics, deaths will be lower than what we are seeing. So something needs to be done.
Yes.
And for me, if you ask me, Israel, we need to implement the LI 2180128, which is a regulation to say that, look, let's stop people from sitting behind the motorbike. I mean, if I go on, I would rather advocate for a case where nobody sits on the bike as a pillion rider in Accra.
So in
if
effect,
you have the laws.
So in effect, you're saying that one motorbike, one rider.
Precisely, that is what I mean. One motorbike, one rider in Accra. I mean, and then maybe in some of the regions. Because
how does this help?
What it is well, it will help because if you look at those who are seated behind the motorbikes, these are poor income people. Okay, let's say a messenger working the ministries wants to go to work, and therefore the only means is, come on, let me sit on Okada and arrive early. But what if you give the messenger a motorbike and train him to get to work? So by so doing, there will be no Okada. They will not get anybody to patronize, and that will reduce the crisis that we see.
Okay, so your plan or your strategy is that let's make it easier for people to acquire motorbikes. Once it's that easy for them to acquire motorbikes, then they don't have to hop onto the back of a motorbike.
Precisely, Israel, and then that is it. And then let me give you, for example, from Monday, my outfit is going to do a lot of training, 5-day training program. That includes factors and causes of motorbike accidents, map reading, and that's also one thing. You send somebody to deliver something for you, and then they don't even know how to read a Google map. We want to train them to read a Google map. We want to train them in road markings and designs so they understand the traffic regulations and offenses. They can ride very safely in town. We'll also have topics where we'll invite DVLA to talk to them. We are starting on Monday, and we believe that is also going to reduce the crashes on the road, and then ask many more people to purchase the bikes and arrive alive in one piece and not in pieces. That is what we want to do from Monday. I am also advocating for the issue where the laws must be looked at. I mean, let's invite the stakeholders. Let's listen to them so that they will contribute in this aspect that I am advising. That, look, let's do a one bike, one human being on it. And if it will work for Accra, that's fine. But then for the other regions, in fact, I just saw your clip where you have 4 people seated on the bike. That is so wrong. So
I was coming to that. If you say one person, one motorbike, or one motorbike, one rider, not everybody can afford a motorbike, even if you make it as cheap as whatever. But beyond that too, there are those two who are just too young. They don't qualify to ride a bike. So what happens to those ones? For instance, a mother who has to pick her children, or a father who has to pick the kids.
So in this case, then they will be allowed to be seated in the vehicle. I mean, that will work. Okay, but then why do we all go for the bike? We want to arrive very early. Okay, if you look at what I'm saying, and then practically it happens, you would also say that, look, what I'm saying is good in the terms that it will reduce the road crashes. Today I was in town. I drove around Joy FM, went to Nkrumah roundabout, and other places, and I could realize that the motorbike population is rather on the increase. And if you look at all the motorbikes, it's either courier or the famous Okada, where you have pillion riders that have been charged.
Right.
Of course, I mean, that is a problem. And in the next 3 to 5 years, the motorbikes will be more than vehicles, and many more accidents will be expected.
All right. So let me take 3 things that I think I've heard you say. 1, there should be enforcement. 2, you're suggesting that we should make motorbikes easily affordable or accessible to workers.
Precisely.
And then so that you don't need to have a pillion rider with you. And then 3, you're talking about training, which you say your outfit is embarking on.
Precisely. That is the right way of reducing this menace that we are seeing. And then I also encourage the police to arrest those people who are riding without licenses. I mean, if you pick 10 riders right now, count them, it's only 1 who will have license A. We have license A, B, and D, and so on. A is for motor riders. If you are driving and then you want to ride a motorbike, not ride a motorbike because you don't have the license A. So that is why we are looking at training those people, people to have the right license, so that what are we looking at? We are just looking at safety on the roads. So many people will ride and will not be pillion riders, and that will reduce the accidents on the road.
All right. Thank you very much, Cecil Gabra. Cecil Gabra is with Top Tech Drive Consult.